What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Gobbler Effect Season 2, episode number 16 here on the Virginia Tech Hockey Network, sponsored by the Beach House Bar and Grill. My name is Chris Beers, happy to be back for another episode, joined today by head coach Joey Mullen of the Virginia Tech Hokies. Coach, how are you doing today?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing good. Well, another weekend gone in the season, another big weekend looking forward ahead. But before we get to that, let's always go back to how it was last weekend. And we'll start before the game on Friday night against UNC Wilmington. You guys, for the, I believe, second time in program history, jumping all the way up to number two in the ACHA Southeast region rankings. What was that moment like when you found out the news?
I mean, it's always pretty cool. The rankings throughout the year, they're neat. They're fun to track. In all honesty, it doesn't. The only one that matters is the last one, really. So it was nice to see that we had been rewarded for having a good season to that point. So I guess it's kind of on us to stay there or move up and down. I mean, we control what we can control.
Yeah, well, you guys then took the ice that night at the Lancelot Sports Complex for two games against the UNC Wilmington Seahawks. You guys got off to a really slow start, kind of uncharacteristic of you guys in that first and second periods. What did you see out of your guys in those first two periods?
We just looked slow, a little lazy, looked tired. Could have been a product of coming back so early to get ready for the outdoor game and a lot of ice time in 3 weeks. It could have been anything. An off night, like it's like we haven't had many of those this year, and I mean we didn't pick a great time to have one, but it happens.
Yeah, you guys were kind of not in the game mentally. You guys were kind of, throwing bodies around and, it kind of hurt you in the end, giving up two penalties to the Seahawks late in the third and they capitalized on both of them, setting you guys your first loss, well, in regulation since opening night, but almost in a month and a half, got to go all the way back to that Penn State game. Did that loss humble you guys in any way?
I think it puts the season in perspective that just because let's say you're ranked number two, they're ranked 17, it's not like they're just going to show up and not play. Like they're fighting to get into regionals. Like we're comfortably in right now, but they're fighting for that spot to get into that top 15 to continue their season past the playoffs. Like being ranked that high, I mean, it's kind of like a gift and a curse. Like you have a target on your back every night. Like everyone wants to knock off the top ranked team. So it's nice that you when you can get wins when you're ranked that high because it pushes you up further. But like you got to be careful. Like one game like that, like we had a little slip up on Friday night, and credit to Wilmington. Like they came and played a good game and kind of showed us some things we were deficient in, and it's I mean it's more credit to them than us. Like they just beat us. There's no real excuse. They just beat us.
Yeah. Well, almost 24 hours later, you guys played them again at the Lancelot Sports Complex. You guys, though, game came out on top. But again, you guys started off slow in those first two periods. What do you think occurred? I know the team kind of, came together before the game, talked about some stuff, but what was your message to the team before the game, and how do you think they responded, especially in those first two periods, compared to that third period where we saw, more of the like this Hokies team that we've seen all season long?
I think a lot of it is we've been spoiled, especially as like fans, people watching us of scoring seven, eight, nine goals a game. Like once you start playing better teams, that doesn't happen. Like when you get to the playoffs, you're not going to see a whole lot of like 8-1 blowouts. I mean, you may see the occasional one on day one, but like those last four games, like it's going to be 3-2, 4-2. And I think both of those games were a good learning experience for us. Like you got to learn how to play in tight games and win in tight games and do things a little different. Like we've kind of scored at will most of the season. Um, so I think it'll be a good springboard going forward. Like it was a tight game going into the third. I mean, we were down 2-1 going into the third period and three goals in the third to win a game. Like sometimes you're gonna have to do that. And once you get past the playoffs, the rankings out the window, it don't matter anymore. Like it's win or go home. So you're gonna have to find ways to win, different ways to win. And they're not going to be pretty all the time. Like at the end of the day, is as long as you get a W, like you get to play again tomorrow.
Yeah, we really haven't. talked about this team's struggles all season long because it seems like there hasn't been any weaknesses. But these last couple of games, starting with UNC a couple of Saturdays ago, got you guys struggling, giving up bad penalties, and then last weekend that loss. I mean, it's kind of now piling up, and you're starting to see holes in this team's attack and their, ability overall when it comes to playing. Do you think that these guys will, come together and, look at the film and say, oh, this is where we're struggling. Let's fix this right away. Is this a group that you trust can do that?
I think we saw it this week in practice. Even between games last weekend, Colin's really good breaking down video and showing guys certain things, and sometimes it's sending messages. Guys not playing like, hey, I need you to be better. We're not playing throwaway games where we're gonna score 9 goals in a game and you can get away with a bad mistake. Like in these higher ranked games, high intensity games, high pressure games, like one little mistake can cost you a game. And I think some of the younger guys are learning that now that like they can't get away with as much as what they could earlier in the year. So I think it's going to benefit us. Like it's a wake up call. Like, hey, we can't just rely on all right, Doozy and Cam and Garlock are going to go score 6 goals tonight. Like it's not going to happen that way anymore. Like everyone's going to have to pull their weight and pull the same direction if we want to be successful at the end of the year.
Well, you have a big matchup this weekend coming up against NC State, a team that, you face opening night, but you're a completely different team than you were, say, 4 months ago, opening night. What do you guys hope to get out of this weekend in your rematch with the Ice Pack?
I mean, ultimately, we're hoping for 2 wins, but I mean, it's going to take a full team effort for full 60 minutes. Like they're a good team for a reason. They're ranked number 7. They played a pretty tough schedule this year, so I mean, they're battle tested. So they're a different team than what we played opening night. Also, like teams grow, evolve, change. We all watch video on each other since everybody broadcasts now, so you can't really hide things. Coaches talk, coaches give advice to other coaches, so we just have to go in there and play our game and kind of impose our will. And if they give a full 60-minute effort, we'll see where the chips fall. I mean, can't predict scores really, so
Well,
we just
if
need one. We just need one more goal than they do.
Well, it feels like every game is a close game with the Ice Pack. You guys lost some 3-2 opening night. All those goals were scored in the first period. And then on last season, you had the playoffs, it was a two goal game, and then you had, the overtime winner, Gavin Peduzzi at home, another 3-2 close game. All these close games against the Ice Pack. Are you expecting another one this weekend in these two games?
Yeah, I don't foresee it going any other way. I would say for the majority of the last 5 or 6 years, they've all been a 1 or 2 goal game. Um, I've had a couple shootout game with them, overtime games with them. Like so, they've all been tight. They probably bounced more NC State's way than they have ours lately. But hopefully, last year was a little eye opening for our guys, saying, "Hey, like you can actually beat this team. Like they're not unbeatable." Although they seem to be that way sometimes, but I mean they're a hardworking team. Like they're gritty. They're going to work hard. They're skilled. Like they're just like us. I mean they're up there for. That's why I mean we're both two of the top 3 teams in the league for a reason. So it's going to be one of those really good games that I think if everybody comes and watch, they're going to see a really good hockey game Friday and Saturday.
What is going to be the key for you guys to overcome the Ice Pack this weekend?
Stay out of the box. They got a good power play, and they always have. So you can't repeatedly give teams odd man or man advantage chances and expect to win games. 5-on-5, I like our chances. We've scored a lot of 5-on-5 goals this year. If for some reason they were to get into penalty trouble, I think they would say the same thing. You got to stay out of the box against us. Our power play's been good all year. Um, 5-on-5, I think it's going to be a battle. Like you're going to have to fight for pretty much every inch of ice. It's not going to be. I think the shots will be close. I think the score will be close. It'll be a tightly contested game.
Yeah. Well, last question regarding this weekend and, the big impacts it has, not only on the playoffs, but also regional rankings. You guys are number 4, NC State's number 7, 2 games against the Ice Pack. What do you think needs to be done in order to, really solidify yourselves as a top, 1 or 2 or 3 team in the region, hopefully maybe bypass regionals to get to nationals?
I mean, you got to win the games that are in front of you. Like if you want to be 2, 3, 4 ranked team in the region, you got to win the games regardless who they're against. And playing against the number 7 team, if you want to be the number 2 team, you got to win those games. I mean, that's what it comes down to. It's wins basically. It's gonna be hard. It's not gonna be easy. They never are. And I mean, honestly, in life, nothing's worth having if it's easy. Like you got to work hard for everything. So I feel like we have that mentality and mindset going into this game. It's a business trip tonight, and we'll see what happens.
Well, quick last question. I know earlier this week at practice, we asked you to name all the off-ice staff members. We're gonna give you another shot. You named I believe 6 or so, but I'm gonna give you another shot. So name all the off-ice staff members.
All right, so we have Chris and Kyle. We have Jordan. Don't we have 2 Jordans? We have 2 Jordans.
We're Jordans.
We have a Phoebe. We have an Ashley, a Gabby, and then that's it. That's all I know.
You know what? That's 7. So I think you did a lot better than you did the first time around.
I think I had 6 last.
Well, obviously an improvement. But that'll do it for episode number 16 of the Gobbler Effect, sponsored by the Beach House Bar and Grill here on the Virginia Tech Hockey Network. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe on the YouTube channel, as well as click the notification bell for live stream and content updates this season. Coach Mullen, thank you again for joining us. The Hokies head back to the lot this weekend for a epic showdown against the North Carolina State Ice Pack at the lot on this Saturday. Puck drop is set for 6:30 p.m. and you can catch the game live here on the Virginia Tech Hockey Network starting at 6 o'clock. Until
I
next
do
time,
have a bonus one that nobody probably got. Our unofficial off ice member is Nels.
Nels, you know what? I'll count it. I'll count it. Make that 8. Until next time, guys, go Hokies.